Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Two Funkles and a Niece. I'm Kia. We got Big Rob
Big Rob here.
and we got Funkle Ray.
Hey, Kia, good morning. Good morning, Bobby. Good afternoon, actually.
I almost called him Funkle Raymond, but he wants to be called Funkle Ray. So I had to catch myself there because I don't want to be on punishment. He's giving out punishments now, y'all. So gotta watch out. All right. So on today's episode, we're going to be throwing people out there who we think should shut the F up.
Shut the F up is free.
First person we're going to talk about is Hurbert Davis. He has recently been given the head coaching job of the North Carolina Tar Heels men's basketball team. And during his press conference, he pretty much needed to shut the F up. He needed to just shut up. But however, he didn't. And so we're here today to pretty much tell Hurbert Davis, going forward, just shut the F up if you don't have anything good to say. So let's start with Funkle Ray. Funkle Ray, go on and tell him what you think about Hurbert Davis out here in these streets, just running his mouth.
Okay, I'm going to give a brother benefit. I think he meant to say something else. He was just unprepared for the moment. I'm gonna try to toss it out to him, try to help a brother out because everybody else is chewing him up. But I think, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. Maybe y'all should tell me to shut the F up too. But in my opinion, I think he was trying to say something else. He was trying to big up his wife for having his back, and he just botched that up by the way he presented it. Instead of saying, I want to thank my wife for having my back, he said my white wife, and because it sounds stupid, but that's my opinion of what he said after watching the video. But I could be wrong. But I think he just meant to say something else. He was just unprepared for the moment, and that made him stumble into saying what he said.
All right, now you did say a few seconds ago that we can tell you to shut the F up. Was that just our viewers, or does that include me too? I just gotta know. Am I allowed to say that?
You're allowed to say it.
If you want to tell me STFU, you can. I appreciate it, but then.
Turn around. So he's gonna try to put me on punishment. He's gonna try to put me on punishment, y'all. So if I say it, y'all my witnesses to this. All right, Big Rob. What are your thoughts? He said, let me go right and read it. I know that this is significant that I'm the fourth African-American head coach in any sport in the history of University of North Carolina, which is outrageous. I'm very proud to be an African-American, but I'm also very proud that my wife is white, and I'm very proud that my three beautiful, unbelievable kids are a combination of both of us.
Sound to me like he was asking him, see, I did what you said. I married the white woman. Can I have the job now, please? Can I have some more? Because that's all it sounded to me, because there was no reason to put her color out there. Her color shouldn't mean a thing to him. That was to me, that was a prepared speech. He got the job of a lifetime. Yes, he did. He's got the North Carolina Tar Heels, a school he played for. So he played under Dean Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Right? He was a young, prepared man. His speech was prepared. He wrote down my white wife. That's all he see her as a white woman. So that it like it was said, gave him status. He said it that way. He said my white wife, and in my opinion, he's that little puppy that was saying, look at what I did. Look at me. She's first. Look at her before you look at me. That's why he said the white wife. Look at her first. Don't look at me. Look at her first, so you can say, okay, he's following our rules. He's putting her, so when the door opens up, she'll be first, and then he'll come scampering in. So in my opinion, he need to shut the F up. And because if he don't come out and coach good, and he comes and sport and messes the team up, yeah, then North Carolina need to shut the F up and fire his.
All right, so this is a question I want to ask you guys, and we're gonna start with we're gonna go to Funkle Ray, aka Funkle Raymond. That's how y'all know. That's what y'all know him as. So I'm gonna call him Funkle Raymond, and he ain't gonna do nothing to try to put me on punishment. You can't put somebody on punishment who's in Texas. We got a lot of states in between us. Okay, so I'm gonna let both of you answer this question. I'm gonna start with Funkle Raymond. So there are some people that feel like, hey, they should have took race out of the whole thing, including mentioning that he's the first African-American head coach of the Tar Heels. What do you say to people when they say that? Like, well, they shouldn't have mentioned race at all, even from him being the coach to his wife to the kids. It should have never just been mentioned. What do you say about that part?
First, I want to say is to you. Call me Uncle Raymond, no Funkle Raymond no more. Call me Uncle Ray. As far as that, I think the race thing it's a big deal if he's first. You know, I think that's why it becomes a big deal, because with anything, it's like if a woman is first to be elevated to the Supreme Court, an African American woman. It's being first. And the fact that he's first, as far as being a man of color, that's why they're making it a race. It's a race issue. I mean, if he was second, it wouldn't matter, you know? So it's just like if we got another African-American president, male, not female, male, he would come behind Obama, so he wouldn't be as important to the position. He's important to the position because he's first African-American. And I'm all right with that, you know, as far as that part of it is concerned. But as far as I still say, as far as his white wife thing that he said I think that was a slip up that he just gonna have a hard time coming back from. I'm gonna give him the benefit of our doubt and say that was a slip up, that he's gonna have a hard time coming back.
All right, let's go. Big Rob, answer that. What are your thoughts on that? That they should have taken race out of the whole entire thing, from him being an African American coach to his wife and to the kids. That it should have just nothing racial should have been included in this whole in his statement, and him becoming the first African American coach.
Well, look at did race play into it? My thing was this: he should have never mentioned that whole white thing. Yes, you was the first African American coach to coach the basketball team, not the first African American coach to coach in North Carolina. So he was the fourth one. So even bringing up the whole thing about me being the first African American, this and that, unnecessary. What was unnecessary was to put his wife in a position now where you just said you didn't even mention her name. How could you not even put her name out there? You called her my white wife. That's embarrassing. I feel bad for her, because now, you know, all her friends are going to look at her like, look at how he described you. You were just his white wife, nothing else. So there's to me, there's the race right there. He put that out there by just talking that way. So he really, personally, there's that shut the F up again. He really needs to.
Okay.
Shut up and coach.
Right. Now I'm gonna say this: both of y'all have come up with some great arguments, and I think it's your position, Funkle Raymond. That was Funkle Ray. That was a good perspective, because I haven't heard many people even come up with your theory. Some people like Big Rob, you're saying that, okay, he wrote the speech. Others don't even think he wrote the speech. I would like to think that being the head coach of the Tar Heels, you are writing your speeches and having someone to review them. My opinion is I don't feel like he slipped up. I honestly think it was he wrote the speech. I don't know what he was thinking. I agree that they should have said first African American coach, because think about it. First, we're in 2021, we are still having a bunch of firsts for African Americans, which is sad because so many are qualified to be head coaches of teams in any sports. But you see what happens, especially in the NFL. So I think they should have mentioned first African American head coach. Now,
I don't like Tomlin.
What I would have done was I would have said, I want to, like anybody would say, I want to thank my wife and kids for supporting me, blah, 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 blah. But then again, who am I to tell him what he should say? But when you say certain things, you got to realize you're going to get a response. And that's just what it is. All right, so let's move right along. The next person who we are going to tell shut the F up, and we need to tell him to shut the F up all the time. I've been wanting him to shut up since I moved to the state of Texas and he was elected.
I hear anger. I hear anger.
Yes. No. Greg Abbott, I'm going to start off by saying shut the F up. He declined to throw out the first pitch at the Texas Rangers first home game of the season, which I would have declined because I'm not a Rangers fan and I think the team is whack. But at the end of the day, he declined because Major League Baseball decided to relocate the All-Star game from Atlanta, Georgia, to another state because of the Georgia election law. So, Big Rob, we're going to start with you. What are your thoughts? And do you think Greg should just shut the F up and worry about the state of Texas and mind his business? Come on. What do you think?
Well, look at it like this. He probably wouldn't have been able to throw it to home plate anyhow. So, yeah, does it matter to me that he declined? Because no, good. They should be happy that the Texas Rangers should be happy that he don't want to throw out the first pitch. He might hurt himself anyway. So, good. He's not, if he's doing his job in Texas, which is apparently he's not doing a well job there anyway, him or Cruz. So it's a good thing for them because he doesn't need any more publicity or no more TV time anyway. So yeah, his whole thing of worrying about it because of they're moving the All-Star game, which, hey, listen, you have nothing to do with Atlanta. So you should not worry about Atlanta. If Texas asks you to throw out the first pitch, it's an honor. Throw it out. You're worrying about Atlanta. You're worrying about it because you want to change those laws in Texas to fit the same laws in Atlanta. No water, no food. So, yeah, he does need to shut the F up.
Okay. I agree with you on one thing. He wouldn't have got the pitch to home plate. I don't think I would have gotten it there. And I don't think any of us would have, because we're not athletes. So I think mine would make it halfway, like right there on the ground. So me and Greg, we agree. I feel like we both are the same with that one because that's why I play basketball. I stayed away from baseball. Uncle Ray, what are your thoughts?
I know y'all got some the poor tasting jokes on Mr. Abbott. No, I mean, like most Republican politicians, they upset. But yeah, he needs to shut. What about when Texas went through a deep freeze and people was melting ice to get water and stuff? Was Greg Abbott worrying about that as much he was worrying about the All-Star game? I think not. As long as he was okay, he was okay. So I game get played in Texas, and that's it. And I'll just leave it with that. As far as him.
honestly, like I'm in agreement. I think he would have thrown the ball just like I would have. And none of us are athletic. None of us are athletes, and we know anything about major baseball. So we all, and the majority of our viewers are probably saying the same thing. Yeah, we wasn't going to get it out there, but it's just tradition to have someone come out and do it. It's unfortunate he declined. He did say it hadn't really nothing to do with the Rangers because, you know, still support them, but it's unfortunate that he's sticking his nose in another state's business, and he should be focused and worried about Texas and making sure that if we ever encounter another storm like we did in February, that the state of Texas is prepared for that. However, it's not going to happen. I can want him to mind his business and worry about Texas. As you can see, everybody's minding each other's state's business, and that's just Republicans sticking with Republicans and Democrats sticking with Democrats. I feel like, Greg, shut up, do your job, and hopefully we can vote your out soon.
Well,
all right, guys, but y'all out there in the world, who do you recommend should shut the F up and just focus on their own situation and mind their business? All right, y'all know what to do. Subscribe, hit the like button, make sure your notifications are turned on, share some comments, your thoughts, share with your friends and family, and check out these cool videos of the best of the Funkles. Y'all be blessed. Peace.
Peace.